everybody. Jeff Cowan here from Jeff Cowan's Pro Talk, back with my weekly podcast entitled Write Service, Write Your Own Paycheck, The Path to Making Over $100,000 a year when writing service in the automotive industry. Now at this recording, like I say every week, 20% of you doing this job right now at this recording are making at least $100,000 a year doing the job. But that means that 80% of you are not. So what are we going to do about that? What we're going to do is encourage you to continue to come back and watch these podcasts, because I will give you the techniques, the word tracks, and the processes you need to reach that $100,000 club. I'm also going to recommend that you invest in yourselves. Do not wait for anybody. Invest in yourselves, educate yourselves so you can get to that $100,000 a year club as quick as possible. Now, for those of you out there already making six figures, I want you to hang around too, because I will show you how to make even more. Well, I'm coming to you today with a podcast I know you're going to like. Now, this is probably geared more toward managers and business owners, but I think it's one that you're going to find great value in. And here's why I decided to present this one. It's going to be entitled, Why Advisors Leave the Position. Why advisors leave the position. Now, the reason that I have decided to talk about this today is I've been getting an overwhelming number of texts and emails and telephone calls from you, the listener, describing how you're really having trouble not only finding but keeping people on board once you do. It seems like you hire them and within 3 to 4 months, maybe 5 months top, they split on you. I've been getting the same thing in the workshops, people talking about how they hire somebody and once they get them, they split after 3 to 4, maybe 5 months. Well, I've got some solutions here for you. I'm going to help you stop this right now if you're willing and you have the discipline to do what I'm getting ready to recommend. But first, let's take a look at why somebody would leave. I mean, why would somebody want to leave a position that pays an average of $65,000 a year? And at that income, like I've said many times, that will allow you to have 1.3 acres of land, depending on where you live, with a 23 or 2,400 square foot house that you can put on it. You park a car in your driveway that's worth $40,000 or more, and if you're married and your spouse works outside the home, you can add another 1,000 square feet to the house and a second car. You'll get 2 weeks paid vacation and a benefit package that rivals some of the biggest companies and industries out there. So why is it these people split after you find them? Well, over the years, I've been doing this over 31 years. I have done literally hundreds, if not thousands, of exit interviews where people have called us up and said, look, before we have you come out and train, we want you to talk to some past advisors who used to work here who left, find out what they say the problems are. And in the process, again, repeating myself, I've done hundreds, if not thousands, of exit interviews. So what I've got here are the 3 biggest reasons in order that people leave this position once you find them. Number 1, they were never trained to do the job. Now, when I asked them, I said, what do you mean you were never trained to do the job? Well, they told me when they hired me they wanted me to sell. They told me when they hired me they wanted me to get great survey scores. They told me when they hired me they wanted me to have high customer retention and a very steady and very high effective labor rate. But when I ran into trouble and I walked in and I said, you want me to sell more, how do I do that? Their answer was, try harder. When I told them I was struggling, or they pointed out I was struggling with my survey scores and customer retention, I said, how do I fix that? And they said, be nicer to your customers. When I told them, and they pointed out that my effective labor rate wasn't what it should be, and I asked them how to solve it, and they said either go watch the other guy or just try harder, Jeff, it wasn't enough for me. I didn't have time to figure this thing out myself. I came into the job assuming they already had it all figured out. All right? So I left. Number 2, little to no face time with their leaders. So when I qualify that, they said, well, what we mean here is when we went to them, it was hard to either get in their offices, and we did. It seemed to be more about them trying to get me out of their office than actually sitting and talking to me and show me how to grow inside this industry, how to be successful inside of this industry if they were there at all. So number 1 was never trained to do the job. Number 2, little to no face time with their leaders. And then number 3, they weren't paid what they were promised. Well, of course they weren't paid what they were promised. I mean, if you're not training them how to do the job and they're not hitting the numbers, you're not willing to sit down and keep them motivated and hold them accountable and get them excited, then they're not going to make what was promised. And so why wouldn't they leave? You wouldn't stay, right? Okay, so how do we solve this? Because here's what they're telling you when they tell you never been trained, little to no face time, not paid what was promised. Here's what they're telling you is that they're hopeless. Okay? They feel hopeless in the position. What they're telling you is that they're fearful in the position. What they're telling you is that they're unsure about what it is they're doing, and what they're telling you is they see no future. So they're hopeless, they're fearful, they're unsure, and they see no future in this position. So how do we solve that? How do we change that? How do we fix that? Well, I'm going to give you a very easy to follow. You have to have discipline. I say easy because once you start doing it and you see the payoff, you'll never not want to do it again, because it will not only help you find people, it will help you keep them and grow them to be the superstar you're looking for. But before I give you that 3-step plan, I want to let you know that I've got a lot of stuff going on here. I've got a book that's just about to be completed here called this is the working title, The Service Advisor's Bible to Closing More Sales and Handling Objections. This is going to be a great book. I'm telling you, I really feel it's going to be an instant classic. It's not only going to be in book form, but it's also going to have a video program to support it, so call in, start getting yourself signed up for that. For those of you that invested in my Indy 500 book last year, Lessons in Sales, Motivation, Leadership, Management, and Life in General, that is going to be turned on by the end of this week in a video program. We've got in-store training. If you really want to get this done and have your people trained by the absolute best trainers in the business, they're my trainers. They will show you how to get the maximum amount of sales. They will show you how, and your people, how to get the maximum customer retention. They will show your people how to get the maximum survey scores and highest effective labor rate, among many other things. And they do it by not teaching and telling, they do it by showing. They will teach, they will tell, but they will stand on your service drive and write service and show your people how to do it. We also have management training, quick loop training. You want to set up a BDC, we can do that too. How about a policy manual for some of you that have multiple locations? We can do a policy manual for you. In short, there's not a lot that we can't do out there, and we do it. We do it fast, we do it quick, we show you how to get the results and how to sustain those results. If you want to be the best you can be, it is now time to pick up the phone and call us here at 1-800-248-2931, 1-800-248-2931, and get yourself signed up for one of those programs or our virtual training online program. And people love that. They call me all the time and say, thank you for producing that. Or have me visit and do a workshop for you. I will love to do that. So, we started this out because we're talking today about how it's hard to find advisors, and once they do, they seem to want to leave 3 to 4, maybe 5 months in. We told you what the problem was is really simple. They feel like they've never been trained to do the job because, again, I've done hundreds, if not thousands, of exit interviews. They leave because they've never been trained to do the job, little to no face time with their leaders, and they've not been paid what they promised. And so what you have is a situation where you have somebody that's hopeless, fearful, unsure, and they see no future. So how do you turn that around? Number one, the first day they show up, step one, the first day they show up, have a complete job description or contract. Now, I know I've told you in past training that the word contract's a bad word because it gets people to stop and think about what they're signing, but this needs to be a contract. And it's a fancy word in this context for a job description. What is the job? How is it to be done? What happens if you do it? What minimum standards are there to be met? What happens if they meet the minimum standards? What happens if they exceed the minimum standards? What happens if they don't do it? A complete job description, the more detail you put into it, the more they like it. And so what happens when the first day they walk in and they see something like that you've got your act together, you've got a plan, you've done this before, success is all around them, they go from hopeless to hopeful. Hopeless to hopeful. And number two, now you train them. I mean, that's a novel idea, isn't it? I mean, the days of saying, hey, congratulations, go follow him around, he'll show you how to do this, and when he's done, go follow her around and she'll show you how to do this, that's done, that's been dead. I mean, if you really want to be the best and get these numbers we talk about on this podcast, then you've got to train your people. So let me show you or explain to you the program I would have. So step two is to train your people. Okay? First, either have online or classroom training that you present, online or classroom training. And what this training revolves around, this is real important, okay? So you may have to stop this and go back and listen to this, but it's real important what this initial training involves. It should be, in this order, sales training. Why would that be first? Because they're taking on a sales position, okay? Sales training. Two, it should be customer service training, how to communicate with people. And then third, product training. So many times we sit these people when they come in down in front of the computer, we give them the factory training, which is nothing more than how to do a warranty the right way and not make customers mad to the warranty, so that for the manufacturer didn't get nailed somehow, right? I mean, baloney, all right? Or we just give them straight product training. That's not sales training. This is a sales position. You don't have to even know the product, generally speaking. I'm going to put an asterisk by that, and I'll talk about it in another meeting. That you don't really have to know the product to do the job of being a great service advisor. You just have to know how to greet, how to talk to people, ask questions, take great notes, and take the information you've gotten from the customer and communicate it clearly back to the technician so they can uncover what the concerns are. All right? So again, in this order, you're going to make sure that it has sales training, and then service training, how to handle customers, and then product training. So now we're to number 3. Number 3, once you get them to that training is probably going to be 2, 3, maybe 4 days long. And I know this is a big investment in time, but you look so hard to get this person. They're here, and you do not want them to leave in 90 days, 4 months, 5 months. You want to keep them. So you're either going to invest some time and energy and money in with them now, or 3 to 4 months from now, you're going to start all over with somebody new. So step 3 is you're going to have them shadow for a day or 2. Yes, I said a complete day or 2. Have them shadow an advisor that's doing the job so they see how to use what you taught them in the training. They see what it means to sell. They see what it means to deliver good customer service. They see what it means to talk about the product. And then number 4, okay? Now number 1, job description or contract as soon as they show up. 2, you train them, sales training, service training, product training. 3, you have them shadow somebody for 1 or 2 days that's doing the job. And then step 4, you stair-step them in to writing up their 15 customers a day. What do I mean, stair-step them into writing 15 customers a day? Day 1, the first day you put them on the drive, you only let them handle 3 customers. So many times I'll see somebody hire somebody new and they'll put them out there and say, go to town. That advisor the first day writes up 10, 12 customers, and it's a freaking disaster. All right? 3 customers. If they can handle that, the next day, give them 5. If they can handle that, the third day, give them 8. Now, if you get to any of these days and they struggle a little bit, do 1 of 2 things. Like, for example, let's say you get to day 3 and they handled 8, but they struggle a little bit, do 1 of 2 things. Either keep them at 8 for a few days or several days until they can handle it, or go backwards and say, you know what, you struggled with 8 yesterday, we want to make sure you got this down, so today we're just going to allow you to write 6. All right? And then from 8, you go to 12. And from 12, the next day you go to 15, and then from there you go on. And anytime their numbers, anytime you see that they can't handle the number they're working on, you just either back it up or you hold them there for a while. That's how you treat a new person. This is how you keep advisors. Because what happens again, if you have a job description, they go from hopeless to hopeful. Hey, I'm into something here. When you train them, they go from fearful to fearless. Fearful to fearless. They fear nothing because they're prepared. They know what they're walking into. They know how to handle every situation they're going to be in. When you have them shadow somebody, they go from being unsure to self-assured because, hey, they taught me this in class. They told me what they want me to do. They taught me this in class. I'm following this guy. It's all making sense. So what I was unsure about, now I'm self-assured. And then 4, when you stair-step them into it, they go from seeing no future to seeing a future, because they now know they can do the job. So again, they go from hopelessness to hopeful. They go from fearful to fearlessness, the fearless. And they go from unsure to sure, and they go from seeing no future to seeing a bright future. It's really that simple. So if you are looking for new people and you get them, that is how you keep them. It is really this simple. Hey, you know, my name is Jeff Cowan. I have a company called Jeff Cowan's Pro Talk, and I have this podcast I do every week at 12 Eastern Time, 9 Pacific Time, and I want you to come back. Tell your friends about it, because I'm going to show you the best tools and techniques, word tracks, and processes to make you the absolute best you can be. If you want the highest sales, retention, survey scores, and effective labor rate, among many other things, you're looking at the right guy. You're listening to the right guy. I will get this done for you, but you're going to have to invest in yourself along the way if you truly want to be the best. That's what the superstars do. I mean, it is. So here's what I want you to do, though, between now and next week. I want you to go out and help as many customers as you can. And I want you to get them so excited about your product that they not only invest in it, but they invest in it and give you perfect survey scores. They come back and do business with you. You continue to collect commission, and you live a lifestyle like you've only dreamed about. You deserve it, and it's there to get. because between now and next week, that is exactly what I'm going to do. I'm going to go find as many customers as I can, and I'm going to get them excited about Jeff Cowan's Pro Talk, and I'm going to get them to invest in it, and I'm going to take the money I earn from doing that to commissions and continue to live this outstanding lifestyle that I've developed for myself, because I got a great freaking life, people, and I love it, and you will too. All you have to do is take the advice we give you on this and invest in yourself. Invest in yourself. Hey, Jeff Cowan here. See you next week. You take care of yourself.